So I cannot shake the story of Deborah lately. I keep going back to it. I keep rereading it. And it's just such a powerful story of how important your yes is into doing what God has called you to do. So I don't know if you know the story of Deborah in the book of Judges 5. But it's really interesting because it takes us back to the days of the Israelites. You know, Moses delivered the Israelites, and then they kept making mistakes, they kept disobeying the Lord. And every time they disobeyed the Lord would allow things to happen. And right at this story with Deborah is when they are majorly oppressed by a king, a Canaanite king. And yet there was a powerful woman. Now think about this. In those days, women were not as highly looked upon, right? They were definitely not equal. And yet Deborah was a judge. So she was a judge and a leader in Israel when they were overtaken by the Canaanites. And you know what Deborah did? First of all, think about it. How did she become such a powerful woman? And I want to share 3 things with you that I feel like the Lord spoke to me when I kept reading this. And first of all, Deborah said yes. What did she do? She said yes to the Lord. And she was obedient to the call that God put on her life. Her assignment was to be a judge. Her assignment was to solve problems, to help people, right? And so she was elevated as a leader, as a judge, as a mother at that time. And what she did was she sought the Lord, she listened, and she obeyed. So as a result of her doing that, what she did was she called up the commander of the army. I believe it was the commander of the army, Barak, and basically said to him, look, this is how we're going to take down Sisera, who's the leader of the army of the Canaanites, the bad dude. This is how we're going to take Sisera down. Here's the strategy. Now, how do you think she got that strategy? Do you think it just came to her immediately? How did she get that strategy? Because she had to seek the Lord. She had to listen for the Holy Spirit to give her the instruction. And then she had to be obedient. And what she did is she took a step of faith. She said to Barak, come here. This is what you need to do. You need to call the army together. You need to go to such and such a place. Well, Barak really didn't. He was scared. And he didn't want to do it. And what did she say? What did Deborah say to him? Look, you know, God's still going to deliver, but if you don't do this, a woman is going to take the victory. So what happened? It's so cool. A woman named Jael, who really is Deborah's destiny helper when you think about it. Jael was the one who ended up killing this commander of the army. And so this whole story is so powerful because at the end, there is a prayer and there is a song that Deborah sings. And the words are basically, life in this village ceased until I, Deborah, arose. And so I want to ask you, where do you need to rise up? Where do you need to seek the Lord and listen? Listen for what he's telling you to do. And then take the step of faith. I want to encourage you to do that today. All right, have a good one. Until next time. Bye.